What's up, everyone? Welcome to the PokeManiac's podcast. Today on this episode, we've got myself, SoulSilverArt, and the Lumios Post. How you guys doing?
Yo. Doing good.
So what I want to talk about today, I think what we're very excited to talk about today, is how Scarlet, how do you guys say that? Scarlet is better than Armor Rouge. That's what I think.
That's what we're gonna.
Oh my god!
All right, he just came out with it right there. But let's start with the name.
Between them.
Let's start with the name since you started with that. Actually,
I don't actually know how to say it. Like a lot of these Pokemon, you just you type them on Twitter, but you don't actually say them out loud unless you're making content.
I haven't said it out loud yet, actually, which is funny. But
let's try it.
The whole point of Ceruledge is that it's cerulean, like the color blue.
Okay,
so, I just think of the town, obviously, like right off the bat. I was like, oh yeah, cerulean. And then Edge, obviously, and then Armor Rouge is Arma, like in arms, like a gun, basically, and then Rouge is red in French. So
I think it also works both ways, where it's also armor. That's
true.
Well.
It's not spelled that way, but that definitely is what that is. I heard someone else pronounce. I heard someone else pronounce it Armor Rogue. Have you heard that?
I did in the first video, but that was because I was spelling it wrong, so I get a pass.
Is it spelled differently? I just assumed it was the same.
Yeah.
Rogue is GUE and Rouge is UGE.
Okay. Yeah, so Armor Rouge and Ceruledge.
Yeah.
Ceruledge. That dude. These Pokemon are so sick, dude.
Really cool.
I get so excited looking at these Pokemon. Like, literally, I don't know what I was excited about looking at Titan, Fido. Grafaiai is cool, but not that cool. Dude, Smoliv is... We can even remove it from the decks. You guys got me yelling. Armor Rouge and Ceruledge are some of the coolest Pokemon, I think, of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're they just stand out as like a Pokemon that... A little bit like... This is some bias showing here, but like Lucario, how generations later people still hold Lucario in such a high regard. That's going to be in Gen 20, people will still be talking about how Armor Rouge and Ceruledge are just amazing designs,
It's almost as if humanoid designs are actually good and preferred. And we still complain that the starters are
it's not in Sprigatito.
There's a lot to be said about these designs because of that point. Like, really, people, like, when we first heard about the decks, like, obviously we talk about leaks on this podcast, and so when we first heard about all of the decks, just everything that's in it, and like there's so many humanoid Pokemon. That's what Ku was saying, a lot of them, and there's more to come. But like this, when I first heard about these, I was told that they were straight up men. I was like, they're gonna be firemen. And
they are. Yeah, they are firemen.
I was so turned off by that. I'm like, I do not want to see two firemen. Like,
you think of like Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Heat Blast, like Ben 10. I don't know if anybody watched that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need Jinx. We don't need Mr. Mime. But these are the type of humans that we need in our Pokemon games.
Delayed, B-sharp, that kind of area where it's more than just men.
Yeah, I think we like actually talked about it once maybe on here that like Bisharp is like completely a humanoid Pokemon, but it really doesn't look terrible. There's two opposites of the spectrum here. It's like Mr. Mime, Armor Rouge. That's it.
Right, dude. Right. And dude, these screenshots. This game looks amazing. This game looks so much fun.
It really does. Oh my gosh.
We'll have to get into that too with like the whole trailer stuff. But since we're on these guys still, like those screenshots, especially of Ceruledge, like that, it looks really awesome.
It's glowing, dude.
Yeah, the flames. It's weird because it doesn't really feel like a fire type as much. Also, I had bad information on this. I thought that I had hinted out a lot of like mono type stuff, and I thought that they were both mono fire.
Really?
Too. Yeah. And then so this was a surprise for me. I was like, whoa, psychic and ghost. It was very surprising.
I think it makes sense though. Yeah.
I was a little upset that they weren't Fire Steel, to be honest. Just because, like, Fire Ghost, we've seen so much of that recently. Like, we had, Hisuian Typhlosion, then we know, like, from leaks that Fuecoco is going to be that way. I was really hoping at least this one be Fire Steel. And I don't know.
It is a really good type, though. And what about Fire Psychic? We've only seen that with Darmanitan.
Delphox and Victini.
Delphox.
Yeah, okay, that's true, yeah. I think both of these are really cool types. Fire is... I feel like there's a lot of mono fire. So I'm happy with this. I really am happy with this. Like, my favorite type of type combinations are those, like, elemental type combinations versus, like... I've just been thinking about it recently, and there's a lot of types that are just, like... They're, like, auxiliary types, like flying is
normal,
just, like...
psychic.
Yeah, bug. Yeah. No, I feel like psychic is one of those elemental types where it's, like, it adds a lot to the design.
I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm biased. I don't typically like psychic types, so maybe that's why I don't associate it with that.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I think Cerulege is definitely better because it's not psychic type.
I don't know about that. Other myths,
I don't know.
That's all I've got to say.
You know what's terrible about it, though, actually? Not to just get negative about it, but I've already heard tons of people talking about how because of these two, like, Fuecoco's not going to be their starter anymore. You know, like, just
that's
because...
so silly.
Exactly. And that's why I wish it was Fire Steel.
Well, yeah, so a lot of those people that I'm talking about don't even know that it's going to become a fire and ghost type. And Pokemon literally just did the same thing they did in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, they gave us a Hisuian Lilligant and a Hisuian Decidueye with the same exact typing. So it's like, why do I even need to choose this starter? Like,
well, they did that in Sun and Moon. I feel like it's kind of like it's like this is such a cool type combination that they want to make that type available to players even if they don't choose that specific starter. That's how I look at it.
They're doing it with water fighting this gen too. With one of the Tauros is supposed to be water fighting.
Yeah, there you go. So that means there's probably going to be a grass dark type.
There's a grass dark type. The legendary snail.
There you go.
The legendary.
Well, I don't know if that would count.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The legendary snail.
I mean, you can get it. It's open world. You can get it on your team. You know.
Okay.
See, Zach understands this.
There we
game.
go. So okay, well, I want to take it back a little bit because I'm pretty sure what I've understood is that these are going to be a branched evolution. The Pokemon Company hasn't directly told us that, but that is what I've understood from the leaks.
Yeah.
That's cool. What do we think it's going to look like? Just like this evil spirit, or do you think it's going to be like still a possessed, like more of an object of the suit of armor, and then it really takes form when it evolves?
I don't think it'll be possessed because only one of them is ghost type. I would think it'd be more on the fire aspect of it.
Yeah,
so like actually a flame human, like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you might be right. Because I don't think that it will have armor. I think that the armor is specific to the evolutions. You know, like if you read it, and this is one of the tweets I have planned, actually, something similar to this, but like it's specific to their armor. Like they get a psychic armor and a ghost armor. Like if you read it on the website, you'll see that like the Cerulege's armor was like imbued with dark ghost whatever spirits.
That's so
brutal.
Yeah, it's the opposite for Armor Rouge.
I forget
spoiled how they evolved too, and it's like it's something to do with like defeating Sinistes if it's Cerulege, and Bronzor if it's Armor Rouge.
Is that real?
I don't know if that's real.
Said. That's what Kaka said, and so that's 50-50.
Yeah.
What that might be? No, what that might be is actually like you just have to defeat a Pokemon of that type.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. That's interesting, though. I like that. I like that rather than a one-off item that's never
said it was like
reused.
10 of them, I think. I think he said 10. Again, we're talking about Kaka, so there's, it's so iffy.
He's not really that descriptive. It's weird.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, some people speculate it's an item drop that can come from Sinistea or Bronzor, and he was just saying, like, you have to beat 10 of them because he's saying that's how long it took him to get the item drop, Like,
I can't see it being that specific to the Pokemon. That seems weird. It must be the item or the typing
Well, and like Sinisty just seems so weird for
yeah,
Soul Edge.
exactly.
Like,
But it's a ghost.
it evolves by beating up teacups, you know?
Yeah, maybe it's just a widely available ghost type that really is what it could be.
Right.
Someone was explaining in one of their videos, I forget who it was, but it was a really interesting idea about how these are. I mean, these are obviously going to be type exclusive or version exclusives, but just continuing that idea of like one of these being, or that these Pokemon are represent two different timelines. One timeline where the warrior or the pre-evolution, whatever it might be, is victorious in battle, where the other one would be pretty much, not victorious. So it becomes cursed in a way and vengeful. I thought that was really cool.
That's a super fun idea.
I mean,
I don't know if that will be anything, just because they already kind of gave us their whole description stuff here.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a fun little story that goes along with them, it's possible. But that like fan idea, it's like a typical Pokemon fan idea. You know what I mean? Where it's like we come up with these great, like, it's not even theories; they're like lore for the Pokemon that is kind of based on what we know, and it's like our canon lore, our head canon lore. Let's say Dusty Go-Goat style. That's a great idea.
I mean, it makes sense because it's like, well, not specifically for these guys, but like, it's the process of like science is that you test things until you can't, until they can't be proven wrong, and so many of these Pokemon theories line up perfectly and just like are undeniable.
Yeah.
Even though they're not like official.
Exactly, you nailed it. It's like it's just Game Freak logic that defies normal logic that fans come up with most of the time. But as for like the baby or whatever, the younger version of it, I think it's just gonna be like literally look like both of them, but just like a little person.
I feel like like a Tyrogue or something. I could see it being like a Will-O-Wisp and then having that same hair tuft right here. Because they both have the hair tuft, right? Like if you look at them, they both have that hair tuft, and there's like something underneath the mask. So that's what I would think.
Yeah.
My initial reaction is like picturing a Marshadow, but just less ghost and more the flame, like how it's very wispy, just like that, but like a little fire person.
That's cool. I was thinking Marshtomp, but yeah, Marshadow makes sense.
Also, they're like kind of like warriors or like knights, kind of. So maybe it might have a little bit of a like a squire or knight look to it. That's just me guessing, but like it makes sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
that
so
does
sick.
make sense. I mean, like you think Corvus Squire, Rookidee, Corviknight, they kind of base that whole line off of, like, each one of them kind of represent that.
Yeah,
dude, I love medieval fantasies. This is very cool for me. Like, and I just the more swordsmen, the better. These Pokemon are great. So another Pokemon that I haven't even like really thought of at all since we found out about it has been Cloth.
Wait, I don't know if we can move yet. I don't know if we can move on yet.
Right.
Like I haven't said like just Armor Rouge for life out here. Like you started it with the sword.
I from my perspective, there's really not much to talk about. But here, tell me. I think it's cool. I really do think it's cool. I just prefer swords, and I literally, when I was a kid, like I had the Mega Man Battle Network, like arm attachment. It was like a $20. $20 back then is like $100.
Yeah.
It was a 20. That was all my like allowance money. But I had that like attachment, and you could put the sword on it, so you run around and you are Mega Man. I don't know. Swords are sick. I love the swords.
Don't bring a sword to a gunfight.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
True. I have to say, like, I don't know if you saw my tweet when we first heard about these guys. I think it was Kaka that said it, but he was like a warrior and a blade Pokemon, and I was like, dude, Violet wins again. Blade Pokemon. Like, I love swords.
Yeah.
I loved the idea of it. And I do love Ceruledge, like, a lot. It's just design. Once I saw this thing, I was like, dang, this is just way cooler. Well, not way cool. At first, I was, like, really in the middle. But, I don't know, it just keeps getting better. Like, I cannot stop looking at this Pokemon.
My favorite part
his mask.
Yeah. My favorite part of Armor Rouge is that it's like shoulder plates turn into a cannon. I think that's like really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really like dynamic
like its
design
oven
piece.
hands.
Yeah. And they work as armor, but also the cannon. It's really cool.
And
It's
it
got
makes
like,
sense with its signature move too. Like I love how its signature move, it makes sense. Like a lot of moves will have a secondary effect that they don't really explain why, but this one, its move makes it lower its defenses, and it's because it's moving its armor to the front. So it makes sense its defenses would drop. I love that. I love that makes sense.
yeah, the moves are interesting too. Like, well, you're more of the competitive person, Lumi, but I don't love when they like do bad things to you, basically. So let me say this in a different way. Like when Armor Rouge uses its move, it lowers its self, or its what is it?
It's defenses.
Yeah. So I kind of hate that, but like I think that Cerulege's move won't be that strong. So it's a give and take.
I'm guessing like Giga Drain or Drain Punch, where like it's good. It's not anything to write home about. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, close combat's a great move. So I mean, it's the same thing as Armor Rouge's move.
I always end up liking the designs that get screwed over, basically. like Zamazenta. You know what I mean? Like I freaking love Zamazenta, but for some
Sasha
reason
was so
they
much
made,
better.
Yeah,
they just
Zamazenta.
made-
I think Zacian is an awful design. They could have
How dare you,
easily
sir.
made. They should have made its tail the sword, if anything.
I
my
don't think
two-
it's awful, but I agree in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the two designs from Sword and Shield that I think are atrocious are Zacian, because it I don't know why it's holding a sword in its mouth. I think that's so silly.
Hurting
but then
me.
but then also Rillaboom should have had like drums on its chest rather than an object.
Yes,
Those are the only
100%.
So you
two
don't-
things.
so you don't
King
like-
Kong thing.
I
Yeah,
like
no.
Rillaboom. I do like Rillaboom.
But you don't like when
Same.
Pokemon are holding something, which is not that normal.
I don't mind them holding things if it makes sense. Like I think with Farfetch'd, it's just holding a
Yeah.
vegetable. That's easy, right? And with Rillaboom, even I didn't mind it holding sticks. Like the sticks make sense. You just pick up two
Yeah.
sticks and you're drumming, right? But yeah, if it's like something really like if it's something very specific, these Pokemon, there's gonna be an unlimited amount of them. In my mind, they are wild creatures. So I think they should be able to get things, even if they are man-made. It should be accessible. Like a spoon for Alakazam, I don't think that's that crazy. I think people make spoons. There's a ton of spoons, so that's not that crazy.
Right.
But
Yeah. So I used to look more into like beta designs a whole lot, and like back in the day, like the first Pokemon that were made, they had a lot of held items basically, and then they kind of like went away from it with even like officially once the actual like Gen 1 and 2 came out, like they went away from it. You saying like the spoons and the leak, that's actually funny. I didn't even think that they still had Pokemon with items. But yeah, it seems like they're making a little bit of a comeback, because like in the middle I don't think there's many, but like you said, Rillaboom, Zacian,
and they
Hammer,
are Pokemon,
Wally.
right? Like they're not animals, so I get it. They're Pokemon, which are character designs, but they're in that weird place in between animals and like
it's just like,
friends.
how do they have it? You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
makes sense
yeah.
for
Right.
Zacian, but like for Rillaboom, they're all born with like a
Yeah. And,
Well, and
I
think
so I guess
it's
apparently it's
disturbing
supposed
to see
to
it
grow.
come out.
Yeah, apparently it's like Rillaboom can control the size of the wood, which doesn't make sense, right? You can't shrink wood. Making it like, I don't know, like growing a plant makes sense, but
It carries
shrinking
it
a
on
plant
his
doesn't make
back.
sense.
If you look like in camping, he has it on his back.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like it's a bit of an immersion breaker when you throw it out. It's a little disturbing because like it just comes out with the wood in front of it.
Yeah.
And it'd be cooler if like it had it on its back when it comes out and it pulls it off its back. You know?
Yeah.
For me, it
It's
makes
just-
sense just because they can like grow it basically.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Pokemon
to
like-
me. How
Pokemon
it's
like
shrinking it and growing
Conkeldurr or
it.
something. You know what I mean? Like Conkeldurr's line. They have like literal beams. Like,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
And so for Conkeldurr specifically, the other two, it's weird and I don't love it. I prefer, it
Gosh,
makes more
those are some
sense
of
that
the
they
worst.
didn't have those objects, but like for Conkeldurr specifically, I think the beams are so crucial to its design. Like the silhouette of it is that it like uses the beams to actually support its body up. So for whatever reason, I always forget that it even is holding anything.
I agree. It's the middle one that I really don't like.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't
yeah.
even know its name. But
Girder.
yeah. Well, the worst name for the worst mons. I don't like those things.
It's better than Seal.
They're clowns, man, with
Dude,
construction theme something.
Dude, these Pokemon literally make me want to go outside with swords and just like run around with my lightsabers. They're so cool.
Yeah.
They look so cool.
Your tweet was like life yesterday, whatever it was, about like being excited for these games. And
I'm actually
excited. Videos too, which was like we were excited about this trailer specifically, like compared to the other trailers, it blew everything away. Yeah. To me personally,
this was the hype trailer I'd been wanting. Like I had said a couple times now that like, the Sword and Shield trailer, it had that, music playing, here comes a brand new world. And the music kind of had you like on the edge of your seat. Legends Arceus did the same thing with like when the music drops and it reveals Hisui and Braviary flying with the player. And just the first two, the two after the reveal for Scarlet and Violet just weren't like that, and this one was. It was just what we needed. I loved it.
Yeah, and those two designs are like they're the top designs basically of this generation so far, and like 100%. Actually get you really hyped for the game. Like just
I'm gonna be honest. Soul, your team Armor Rouge, Dusty, your team Cerule Edge. I'm team Titan. I still think that's the best design.
Dude, no, Titan is still awesome.
Dude, I'm gonna fillet your Titan with Cerule Edge.
I thought
when I terrestrialize it.
I thought I saw a tweet from you, Dusty, that you're keeping Titan on the team no matter what.
I don't think I said that.
No, it was not a direct
How
quote.
dare you? You've dropped Titan.
I mean, there's a lot of I guess I don't really know what my team here. I'll have to. I think my team would be right now Cerule Edge. I would have both of them if I can do that. I probably would have both of them, but I'm gonna have at least Cerule Edge, Scizor, Go-Goat, a starter. I don't know, man.
Starter? You don't know which starter?
I want some. Yeah, I'm gonna pick a starter and I'll use it. But like,
you don't know which one?
There's some cool Paradox Pokemon. No, I don't know because it depends on what the final team's gonna look like.
You do know, Lumi? You know?
Oh, yeah, I'm using for starters. I think I know my full team. Like I really do think I know my full team. One Pokemon could change based off the design, but like we know pretty much the entire decks at this point. And based off of concepts, I know my team. Now, there's always a chance something could look terrible or something that I thought wouldn't look so good looks amazing, and I swap things around. Yeah. But as of right now, I'm using Fuecoco and Quaxley. I'm using both of them. I don't even care. I'm using Titan. I'm using the Seagull electric flying bird thing. And I'm using Primeape because it's got the new evolution. And honestly, this is probably the most shocking one here, but I'm using Cloth.
Okay.
All right.
Cloth. I love
we can have a sword battle.
That's so just like random in there, but yeah.
I love Cloth. I'm doing a pirate team is why.
Oh,
right.
Okay, yeah. That I liked it a lot then.
I mean, I would have never assumed that Fire Twin Man would be on my team. So that's the thing about those descriptions.
So what's your team looking like?
It's looking like Armor Rouge. That's it.
That's it? Just Armor Rouge? Not even Miraidon?
Yeah, I was going to say Miraidon.
No, yeah, Miraidon I want, but it's late. That's like those two are like the only two Pokemon that you can't get until you like complete things. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Yeah. Armor Rouge is that way too?
No. I mean Miraidon and Koraidon.
You meant Miraidon and Koraidon, okay.
Yeah. I think Kaka said it that you can't use them until the end or whatever, and they make sense. So they're legendary.
Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah. But yeah, I only said just Armor Rouge because I have no idea what everything else looks like. I really
can't believe neither of y'all know your starters. That's wild to me.
Dude, I'm not going to pick my starter because I'm going to be heartbroken.
Yeah, that's true as well.
That always happens. Like, so...
but that's why I pick them anyways. I'm expecting to be heartbroken this time.
Whatever, honestly, he picked two. Okay.
That's pretty alpha. Like, honestly, I should do that.
He picked two, so he's not disappointed with one of them.
The best
I
one's gonna be Sprigatito.
Sprigatito. I knew Sprigatito would suck, so I went with the other two.
Sprigatito's gonna be undeniable. It's gonna be looking
Undeniably
It's gonna be
terrible.
broken. Yeah, undeniably terrible. That's exactly right.
It's gonna be very human.
Yeah, the first time I saw Sprigatito, I was like, that ain't it.
No, it's not. It's too. I mean, we talked about this in the last episode. Like, it's too much of an animal, which is fine. Like, I do like animal Pokemon, but at first starter, it's just like, meh, I don't care. I don't like cats. If it was just a dog, I'd be like, great. If it was just a bear, I'd be like, great. But it's just a cat.
Boy, Coco is the perfect example of how animal it should be. Like, it's a crocodile, but that doesn't look like a crocodile we have. Sprigatito's a cat, and it looks like a cat that I could, go to the animal shelter and see,
Quaxly's in the middle. So my philosophy right now is that, like, I want to pick Fuecoco, but I think I'm going to pick Quaxly because I'm kind of neutral on it. Like, I don't care about Sprigatito.
You can't be
like
disappointed
Fuecoco.
by it.
Yeah, I can't be disappointed by it, and I also think it's just going to be, like,
I mean,
not
Ku and
tough.
Kaka both said that was their favorite of the starters, was Quaxly's Final.
All right, there you go.
Also, you can see in like the merch or like the promotional cycle that Pokemon's doing, like Quaxly's always in the middle. I feel like they know that it's like the main
Greninja.
one. Yeah, the main one of the trio, let's say, which is
They
weird.
always have a favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know which their favorite was with Galar, though. It was either Cinderace or Inteleon, but I don't know. They seem to like them both.
Although, yeah,
Cinderace they put in Unite, like, from the very beginning, so maybe it was Cinderace.
I think Cinderace, probably.
They all kind of missed the mark.
Yeah.
They all suck, yeah.
No,
especially Inteleon.
No.
Yeah, Rillaboom is really good. It's nice when it doesn't have its bongo, its DK country setup. Dude.
Hey, with these starters though, like the main thing now is now that we have these two fire guys, like I'm not gonna have 3 fire people on my team, or even 2. Like I'd rather not, even though I don't really base my team on typings that much, and we still have terastallizing. So
that's true. Yeah,
it's not really that big of a deal, but I don't know.
It's nice to have like a nice
get
blend.
that. I don't like to double up on fire, water, or grass. Like, I will if I'm absolutely in love with both designs, but those are like the 3 types I do not want to double up on.
Yeah. Yep. So Cloth, though.
Yeah. Cloth is a Pokemon.
Amazing.
I like it. It's just like it feels like a Pokemon. It's fun. I like that it's not water type. Kind of disappointed it's rock type. Honestly, because it's just, I mean, that's Crustle, right? The other crab was also a rock type.
I mean, that's rock bug. I look at it in competitive sense. It's rock bug Crustle. So this one is different.
It is different,
right?
Yeah, it is.
And
different.
I'm hoping it'll get, because like Crustle, they hardly treated like a crab. Like, it got no water moves. It didn't get Crab Hammer. I'm really hoping this thing gets Crab Hammer, because that'd be so different. I mean, what pure rock types get a water move?
This thing
it's
more.
Surf.
That's true.
There you go. Right on, learn surf.
This thing is more crab, though, to me. It's more crab than Crustle. Crustle and Dwebble especially, like, they're still bugs to me.
No, I mean, they're, what do you call them? They're hermit crabs, which are crabs, right? They're not bugs.
Crabs,
Dwebble,
but they even made them bug type.
But I thought that was
more like one.
I thought that was like quirky. Like, you could give Krabby the bug type, because it's like, what are crabs? They're the same thing as scorpions.
Closest relative is the cockroach.
There you go. So, like, I think bug type actually makes sense and is, like, just an interesting choice. So this is an interesting choice, too. Dude, something I noticed was, like, down here on these, so you're battling Cloth. That's how you say it, right? Cloth.
Yeah, Cloth.
And you can see, like, its little icon.
When those icons
I didn't notice that when the ability pops up.
Yeah. So
those icons of life.
I think that's the same thing that they did for BDSP. I don't think it's a brand new sprite.
It is. Okay.
So
it's
still nice.
I played that game. I beat it, and I pretty much stopped, so I would not know.
Those were the best things that came out of BDSP.
Yeah.
Those were the only good things that came out of BDSP.
Yeah.
The thing is, I still kind of hope we have... I hope that, like
sprites.
No, I hope we have sprites. I don't think we're gonna... I think it would be these... This tells me it's going to be these. But I did like how Legends Arceus had a close-up of the face.
Oh yeah.
Because then it would actually so like what I would want is that these sprites show whether or not the Pokemon is shiny.
I think
That's
they
what I
would.
would want.
Did they
in
bring down a
Ace.
shiny pearl?
I think
No, they do it in Home. In Pokemon Home,
Yeah,
you can actually
you're
see,
right. You're right.
but it's
They
just like
didn't
it's
bring
such a
down shiny
small
pearl?
thing.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. It's really wild. It's such an easy thing to do.
No, yeah, you just change the palettes.
I don't know what to say about that game, but
Yeah, let's just move on.
yeah.
I like Cloth's eyes, and it is cool. It has its own identity, especially with the little fuzz balls on its on its like legs.
Yeah.
That's how you feel about you. So you like it or not, or
I mean, if we're doing a tier list, it's not my favorite, but I think it feels like a Pokemon. It's got its own unique identity. I think it's also going to be really cool to fight this thing as a Titan Pokemon, which maybe we can get into that next.
yeah.
It looks like a castle. Like this is the Rook Pokemon to me.
I do like that its like mouth is like a proper crab mouth. Like if you
Yes.
that's very much what crabs have. I don't like it. I don't like it. No. I mean it makes sense that Zach likes it and I don't, but it's like
That's usually how it is.
yeah. I like that it's like very close to a Gen 1 Pokemon. Like it looks basic.
Yes.
You could be like, "Oh, that came right out of Gen 1."
It does.
I don't like that it has tiny little claws and then it talks about like it having amazing power in its claws. That's one thing I really don't like. But I also
get that.
if it was just a different color, like I would like it a little more. But also it looks so
I
dumb.
get that. I get
See,
that.
but to me, it's supposed to look like those clay cliffs and all, and
Yeah.
to me, that's why I like the color. Like I'd agree with you because especially like my first reaction was that's remarkably similar to Krabby, but
Yeah.
it being the whole like ambush thing and it's on those cliffs and like stone crabs are real world crabs that look like rocks and they'll even kind of huddle themselves up so they look like little rocks. It works for me.
Yeah.
do
I guess
understand the
yeah, I
colors.
guess if I'm criticizing the design, I could say then just make it a slight like rather than making it orange, make it red or something.
Yeah.
Right? Just to differentiate it from Krabby. But then this
I think
I mean,
Krabby's is more red than it is.
I don't know. This seems like the same color to me. That's
Yeah,
just
it's almost exactly the same color. Like in other art media or whatever, like you could get a Krabby that's exactly the same color. You know, like somebody else.
See,
That's
I'm
not
thinking
official
like
Pokemon.
anime Krabby is redder
Okay,
than
yeah.
like games Krabby.
Exactly what I'm talking about. So like
Yeah.
they like tweak the colors depending on artist. You know, this color is too close to those, even to Crawdon and Corfish. You know, like
ooh, those are good ones.
Yeah.
they're similar colors, but they have a whole different shape going on, which is fine. This is a crab, and Krabby and Kingler are crabs, and it looks the same. I mean, I don't like the hair stuff either because it's just it looks gross. I don't know. It's not for
Get
me.
that.
Well,
but
there
it's
are
not-
fuzzy crabs. So
Yeah,
like I think that is and that gives it its own identity. So I do like the fuzz, even though I don't like intuitively get it.
Yeah. The bottom line is for
Um,
me, it's not like trash tier or anything. It's just
No.
like low mid tier for me. So it's not like I hate it, but I don't like it.
I'm
do
very
have to
forgiving.
say, I really like what you said, Soul, about how it looks like a Gen 1 design. That is something I've been loving about these Pokemon. Is like, to me, Titan struck me as like a Gen 3 design. Cloth looks like a Gen 1 design. Armor Rouge and Sturledge look like a Gen 4 or Gen 5 design. And they're all nostalgic to me in that sense. Like
Miraidon look like Gen 5 designs.
they do. They really do. I mean, and then Miraidon's literally got the Zekrom typing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, Miraidon looks like a Gen 11 type design.
Miraidon is straight up
The future.
yeah. It's the R fake of Zekrom.
yeah.
Cyclozar feels very Gen 3 as well to me, but maybe that's because it kind of reminds me of Grovyle.
I agree with this to a certain point. Like I think that like Smoliv, Lechonk, Cloth, even Palmy, like they all kind of look like Gen 1 designs, and I'm like from Gen 1. But I don't really like them. They're too basic, which is what Gen 1 was like. But I don't know. To me, it's a little too.
No,
Too
this
basic.
is good. This is good. I think it's way more interesting than Kingler and Krabby.
See, what gen did you start playing with? Playing in, I mean.
I started playing with Gen 1, but like when I really got like attached to the franchise was Gen 2. And then like
Okay.
Gen 3 has been like
Gen 3 was where I got in. I got in
Yeah.
with Fire Red.
Yeah,
Just
Gen
trying to see like the difference in opinions based off of where we came from, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely is a thing too. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm like
Gen
the
oneers are a thing, you know. Soul, thank God you're not one of them.
Yeah, I'm the opposite actually. I'm like ready for the future. I'm Team Violet out here because like I love Ceruledge and Armarouge, and those are I don't think those are like Gen 5. I think those are like what Dusty said. Those are like Gen 11 designs.
They're
like
crazy.
the future designs. It's not Pokemon feeling to me, and I feel like I should be upset about that, but I'm not because they're amazing.
I think it matters the extent of it. Like, if it feels like an evolution of the franchise, like, Dusty, you've got Grafaiai up, and I think that's the perfect example. It feels like a Pokemon, but it does feel like an evolution of the franchise. And you do want that when you're moving up in gens. But I like that there's a mix of that. There's things like Grafaiai and Miraidon and Koraidon that feel newer, but then there's also some things that kind of appeals to fans of, like, Gen 1, Gen 3, those types of designs.
Yeah,
It's almost like the whole theme, the innovation versus tradition theme, they're doing it just in the designs.
Yeah.
I think that definitely is present, but I'd also push back and say like I never liked the whole like this is this design, this is this gen, because I think there's varying designs in every generation. Like in Gen 1 you have Jinx, and then you also have Jigglypuff. So, and then you also have things like Vulpix, which is super realistic.
Gen 1 and 2 feel so bland to me. Except for like Scizor.
I think a lot of that is due to the colors, like the color palettes of the Pokemon. Where
I don't know. I feel like there is a time thing involved. Like, look at Grafaiai. That thing would never be in Gen 1. Like, it would have never been there.
No, but I think
Gen 1 is more plain like that because it was just the beginning, and they were just like animals that are kind of different. You know what I mean? That are monsters.
I mean, imagine them doing. Well, it's funny, I say this, and they actually are doing this gen, but imagine, like, if they released Diglett and then Dugtrio now. Like, people would hate it. Of course,
I still hate
we
it.
know they are doing that, so...
Yeah, but that's a great example. If they release some of those Pokemon, like Seal, you'd be like, what the heck is this in Gen 9? We don't want this.
This is a wasted slot.
Yeah.
Voltorb, even, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. I
but
think a lot of
lovable. There's some.
I think
lovable.
a lot of the designs of the Pokemon were dependent on like how they were actually going to show up in the video game and like how they could depict these Pokemon as sprites. So even though like there were some designs that were more complex, even though they couldn't actually like fully display them in a game, they still had like complex. What do you call it? Just like official art.
It'd be harder to display Grafaiai in Red and Blue.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what game it would fit into where it would show properly, and it probably wouldn't be till the 3D games.
Yeah,
I was honestly thinking, not until Gen 5.
Gen 5 maybe, yeah, because there were a lot of Pokemon that like didn't have pupils like that.
I like constantly search out art for these guys like when they're released, and
same.
I have not seen like barely any sprite work of Grafaiai. Like people won't do it because it's that complicated to make.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It's weird, and the few that I've seen are like, eh. But
yeah. So if this was Gen 1, its hands would be a little bit more obvious, right? Like its fingers maybe would be all the same size or something, and it would have only one paint color on its hands. Its eyes would be one color. I think some of the shapes are fine, like especially the head tufts. But I don't know.
How are we feeling about Grafaiai?
Yeah, let's talk about it because I didn't even speak on it in my on my channel. Did you guys watch? I don't even have any strong opinions. I think it's a cool Pokemon. I'll definitely try to use it in like a second or third like playthrough. I think it's a cool Pokemon. I do like it. The type's never been used. Did I talk to someone about this? Like, I was curious if this thing's gonna have different like color variations. Like if some will have different paint colors.
It definitely like baited us with that, with the whole it's a paint changes based off of its diet.
Yeah, if it eats Caterpie, it's gonna have green hands.
I don't think it's going to do it. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
the talk of the town is that the parrot's gonna be that way,
Okay.
which makes
which
sense because
makes
parrots
sense.
come in multiple different colors. And honestly, that makes me like it okay because when I found out there was a parrot, I was like, so it's just Chatot, and then we got it leaked that it was normal flying, and I was like, okay, so it really is just Chatot.
Yeah,
Which makes it a little bit better.
dude.
Hopefully it gets a little more to
When I
it.
first heard just parrot Pokemon normal flying, I was like, why? I was like freaking out. So I mean, you'll see. No, it hasn't been leaked yet what the deal is with it, but yeah, something like that. As for Grafai, I don't think that it will change colors much. If maybe I mean, obviously it's shiny. We'll have different paint probably on its hands or something. I don't know. I don't think that it has different like color forms. It's not really that colorful of a Pokemon, I'd say.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
But that was something that I was thinking about going into it. But I guess that's not what it's gonna be.
I mean, it would be cool.
Do you guys think we're gonna get another trailer like next week? Because this was 2 weeks in a row. We got new Pokemon.
You
I mean, that was a big trailer. That was a big trailer.
I have heard that we're getting something else in September.
Cool.
But the source of that information has been right about a lot of things and wrong about a lot of things. So
yeah.
Was it
I mean, they did call. They called August 3rd. I think everybody was calling August 3rd, so I wouldn't even give them credit for that. But they did call September 7th, and they called it like a good week and a half before the trailer.
Yeah.
Now they're saying there is something else in September.
It's debatable, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I could see there being something else at the end or second week before September, like the end of September, because I think.
Sorry.
I just think that like, that their whole promo cycle was to be at the beginning of each month, basically. Like if you look back on all of this, the times that we did get news, they were mostly at the beginning of the month.
Right.
So now that we're like in more of a promo season, let's say we could get more at the end, but then I think that there's going to be more at the beginning of October. So it's kind of tough to say.
See, I just hope they're gonna. Oh man, it's wishful thinking for sure, but I really hope they just go into a sun and moon cycle now where it is bi-weekly, and it kind of it pleases both sides because some people don't like it to reveal the whole game, some people do. Well, it pleases the people that do because they're giving us something every other week, but it pleases the people who don't because they didn't do that for the first like 6 months, so the whole game won't be revealed. You know?
Also, the whole game is revealed.
Whole game is leaked too. There's that too.
I mostly want trailers now just because I'm like sick of. I got so burnt out, guys. I got so burnt out. I took like 2 weeks off. I still feel like I'm on time off. All I'm doing is uploading like whatever. But like I'm getting so burnt out by all this like leaked information and this like these daily posts. I want official info. I want to see designs. I want to play this game.
Well, especially when we know the decks, there's stuff that you're like, that sounds so cool. I want to see it.
Like this sushi Pokemon, I don't even want to see it anymore because I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the concept.
This is such a real conversation. I tweeted it out a while back. Just like people don't realize the damage that Kaka really did to the community, basically. Because like I hate. It's not that I hate knowing the whole decks, but like I almost have it memorized. I almost have it memorized. Yeah. And that bugs me. Like
We're not even 2 months out.
Yeah, I. It's not that I don't follow leaks and don't want to know it all and all that, but it's just a weird thing that happened, and being burnt out from it is exactly what I expected to happen for other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I said that, because I was just like, this is not healthy for like the entire community kind of thing. You know, there's some people that will love it, but I think they're probably in the minority because
and they may love it then, but they won't. Yeah. I don't think they will in October, and it's kind of like, I mean, especially like this last trailer, I think if we hadn't heard about Fire Warriors, people would be even more in love with Scarlet and Armarouge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to Grafai, that's a perfect example. Like, imagine if we didn't know that thing existed, and then Pokemon started dropping that stuff.
I wasn't even excited when it came out.
Yeah, because we already knew. We knew instantly. I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but like there's no hype like in our community, the leak community especially, because like we're just so hype about these kind of things. The normal people were just like, it's Smeargle. And that our
Absolutely.
community probably would be like speculating on a million different things of what it could be. And
Yeah.
that just didn't happen because everyone knows.
That period for me lasted about 10 minutes. I saw the posts that the Pokemon Company put out on Instagram, and then I went to our Discord, and then I was like, oh, it's a bullseye. Maybe it's one of the Tauros. And then 5 more minutes passed, and then I said, oh, wait, no, it's the thing that draws on trees, and right. I'm like, it's over. I know what it is.
Yep. So instead, we could have had like all of us trying to figure out what it was, and then coming to a moment where we did figure out what it was. Instead, it was just like we all know already.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my. I'll get off the soapbox, but
no, it's true. You absolutely are right, and it's like, I don't know. I'm bored now. It's not that It's like I'm burnt out, but I'm bored. I'm not excited to make videos because I'm like, well, what else am I gonna talk about? Just like things.
Well,
that
it's hard to make videos because part of the fun of it is speculating on stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But we can't speculate because we know.
And my friends who are making like videos, who aren't looking at leaks, and they're coming up with interesting theories, like I support them. I watch the videos. I leave comments, but it's we're not on the same level.
You already know.
I know, and we're not on the same level, which stinks.
Yep. No, and like think about their viewership, people that know, and like just random spoilers out there. So like they'll get people that will watch their video and just be like, oh yeah, I know all this, and then some people actually even say it. So that just sucks. And
it is fine. I think there are tons of people, like the majority of people don't know about the leaks, because I still get comments on my leak videos saying like, this is all like, I don't buy it. I don't buy any of this. You're just trying to show me advertisements, which is hilarious because the video's been out for a month. The information's been out for 3 months. And it's all been trickled out and revealed to be real. So that's kind of interesting. So Grafaiai is going to have a pre-evolution. It's going to look like a mouse. That's right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
I mean, I wonder how more simple
lemur.
it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people think it's a mouse lemur because that's the thing. Like that exists.
Okay.
Right.
Which would be really cool. I already know what it is, but I'm not going to say.
One of these little puppies. That's cute. This is cute.
Yeah. There's a whole lot out there that people don't know still, so that's fun. But it's just like good. You can't speculate 100% on that kind of stuff. Yeah. This you can.
And I'm gonna assume it's still gonna be poison normal type.
That's like the whole thing Koo said yesterday about, so you mentioning that there's still stuff we don't know. Koo mentioned something about there's 3 Pokemon that are new that you'll see in November, and it's, I don't know, it's almost like he was implying you don't know them now, but you'll see them, and that was weird.
Ooh, things that we don't even know, things that aren't even in the Makio decks.
Yeah.
That seems to be what he's implying.
That's cool.
Yeah, that already brings a little bit of new life in there, which is good.
Yes. Yeah.
But for Grafaiai, just to go back to it, what do you think about him, Zach?
I'm very much where Dusty is. I don't really have any. I think he's cool. He never had a shot at being on my team just because he's not me.
Poor guy.
My wife adores him. She is instantly on her team. She swapped off Paldean Wooper for him, but it's not me.
That's big. That
poor Wooper.
Yeah, now the problem is now she has multiple normal types that she wants, and
it's a normal type generation.
All normal types. Right.
It really is, yeah.
She wants the Giraffe Rig evolution, Grafaiai, and while she wasn't crazy about it when it was revealed, the last trailer made her really like Cyclozar, so she's thinking about that too. But
yeah, I actually like Cyclozar a little more now from that trailer too.
Trotting behind Koraidon, that was so cute.
Me and her on the same page. I freaking love this monkey. It's amazing.
You were keeping that bottled up.
I know. It's
wanted
too good.
To see if I hated it, because normally we disagree on everything.
I don't know. I just chose you to go first. It wasn't anything like that.
We've actually, we've agreed a little bit more on some of this gen.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Armarouge and Satitan, where we're on the same page with.
They're good Pokemon. There's gonna be a lot of good ones. Like this guy, I like him a lot. I didn't like at first. I was like, eh. I was kind of more where you guys are at, but it grew on me so much. Its eyes are like Spider-Man, and I love it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like, and Koo said this, so maybe that's why he already planted it in my head. But Stitch,
Yeah.
and I'm a big Disney World person, so that I love it.
I never thought I would like it like that. Like eye eyes are really gross looking, and
They are. They're
I
horrible
don't like
in real
monkeys
life.
much either. But it's just like a good mix. It looks like a bug and a rodent and kind of a monkey, and a graffiti little guy. So
and it looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it a lot. It's like, so I was thinking, I don't want to do like tier list stuff, but I was just like trying to put it on my own in a tier list somewhere, and it's like, right, you're gonna hate this. It's right there with like Koraidon to me.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's so funny that like
you on it.
if you described it on paper, like if you had never seen Grafaiai and I was to describe Grafaiai, you would hate it. But it's actually a really good design. You know what I mean? Like the hoodie thing, the hair, long middle fingers with saliva dripping from it. It'd be like, no, that's not for me. But it actually does look pretty cool.
So we were talking about like man-made objects and like Pokemon holding items, and like this is something where it's not really an item, but I do like how they applied the paint aspect, right? They actually made it. It's not even part of its biology, like Smeargle. It's like just something that is readily available or makes sense with the Pokemon's, with its personality, right? Or it's like what it does on a daily basis, which is eat. So this, I do like this. I thought it was gonna be like spraying things out of its hands, like Skuntank or something, like the way Skuntank would spray stuff out of its butt. That's what I thought this. That's what I thought this was gonna be.
I thought it would be out of its hands too. I'm pretty sure someone straight up said it was going to be out of its hands.
Yeah. I think Koo thought that it was as well, but I mean, what his hint was is kind of vague, so it could be taken either way.
Yeah.
When you see Inteleon shooting water, you're like, okay, it's gonna come out of its fingers, but he probably just meant like that it paints with his fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That the finger's like an important part of the design, even.
Yeah. It's always a riddle with him.
I guess, I miss the riddles, man. I miss the riddles. I miss the 4chan posts. So I feel like I'm realizing I like Pokemon that are edgy, and I like Pokemon that are man-made or kind of, not man-made, but objects, right? I like quirky, weird designs like Magnemite.
That's interesting.
I'm putting that together. A lot of these other designs are just kind of like...
You get a Paradox Magneton, so that should be good for you.
We do, yeah. Oh, so there's another Pokemon that was revealed. We knew about it. It's this... it was in the last trailer, even. It was in the trailer like 2 months ago or whatever.
Yeah, we just got a better look at it now.
And we don't have a name for it. It's this engine Pokemon.
Who said its Chinese name is a Automatopoeia, so I'm wondering if they'll do something similar with the English name. Like something like vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom, that's cool.
Vroom vroom, go.
I can see that.
Can you imagine?
No,
I can see that.
I hope not.
I could see it though.
Do you think this is the first or second stage? Because the engine's a 2-stage line. Do you think the one we saw in the trailer is first or second?
It's got to be the second stage. I always forget that it's got 2 stages to it, which is weird.
Looks mono stage.
Yeah. I think it's got to be the second, but you never know. I don't actually know this. Like, I just feel like because it's on the Team Stars car thing, it's got to be the main one.
Yeah.
I do think that like there's a lot more to it that we don't know yet because you can't see anything to do with tires in its design. But Kaka said it didn't have legs; it had tires.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that what we see is all of it.
You're seeing just a glimpse, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's true.
The tongue is so strange.
Yeah. They just saw like the whole Impidimp situation last gen, and they were like, "Oh, this is cool. We're gonna do it again."
Was cool. I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Just like show us what this thing is.
See, I guess I don't like it because of the leaks thing because it's a bit like you said, like we know what it is, so just go ahead, stop doing
Yeah,
this. It's not a
that's
surprise to
probably what
anybody.
it is.
But with
You're totally right.
Impidimp, I did like that they just kept showing this little thing. Like they showed it in 3 different trailers, never officially revealed it. I loved that.
Yeah, you're actually absolutely right about that. I think that it's because we already know. Because if we didn't, we would still be probably speculating on like what it is exactly. We wouldn't know that it's a Pokemon totally. You know, like sometimes Pokemon puts these random things in their games, and we're like, oh, that's a Pokemon, but it's not.
Yeah, think of Rotom decks, right? Or like all the T-shirt hints, right? You'll see a silhouette of something within the Pokemon universe, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, is that a new form?
Yep.
Sometimes it is.
Or we
Sometimes it's
think like
not.
the whole car is it too.
Yeah, see, that makes no sense to me. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or is it? I don't know.
If they didn't put that tongue in there, it would be like way more speculative. Like we
Yeah.
wouldn't be. But that tongue gives it away as like being sentient. Say.
I would have thought, like in the trailer, I thought the part you can't see it in that picture, but the part below the eye was there's like a little circle there or something. I thought that was the mouth until I saw the official art have the tongue come out of the top.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's interesting. It reminds me of like a Star Wars character. It's just like an engine that latches on. It's kind of like a leech, right? It latches onto an engine or some sort of mechanical thing that's run by an engine, and it just like takes over.
Even the shape there looks very like squid-like.
Yeah, exactly. Like a parasite. I'm thinking of those things from Super Mario Sunshine. Yeah, I don't
You're
know.
alone on that one.
No, I don't even know what I'm trying to
not
remember.
familiar with it.
But it's I don't know. This thing's kind of interesting. Depending on how the reveal of this Pokemon is, I could use it. I like steel types. Steel Poison is a cool type.
Yeah, I don't love it right now, but I'm hoping it turns out better.
Yeah.
Who liked it? It's on his team at least.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
His
cool.
like, assume they're his favorites because they're the 3 he used other than the starters, were the Saltmon, Fido's evolution, and the engine.
Did he say Fido's evolution though exactly, or was he just saying a dog? I don't remember.
He specifically said the fairy dog later on. He said that like after Fido was revealed, he said it was the fairy dog.
Okay, I was curious about that.
What do you guys think about these new Titan battles? They're essentially,
Dude,
I mean, they
Titan.
look fun. They look fun.
Titan, bro, I can't believe it.
We knew it all along.
When I heard that, I like flipped out. I was like, this is like one of the first times they've made a code name that actually relates to the game.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking back. I'm like, did we actually see, what was it? It was like Rainbow or like Flower. I was like trying to think back to those old code names to see if they actually popped up in any sort. They've actually confirmed Let's Go as well. Apparently Let's Go is a new feature in this as well.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Dude, I about died when I read that. Oh, that was so funny. It was like a troll. Let's Go Johto confirmed.
Yeah, I know. I like one.
Right?
I'm turning my brain about that, but I don't know.
Please no. Please no. Please.
I don't think so.
No.
Don't ruin Johto like that.
As for the Titans, like, I love it. It's just, I wonder if they're gonna keep them like going forward in Pokemon games, because this is already the 3rd game that they're doing this. It's a totem Pokemon.
Yep.
But like also more than that, I think it's a noble Pokemon. Like people keep saying alphas, but it's not alphas. It's like a noble battle. You just don't like. It's not action based. You know, it's normal Pokemon battle.
It makes sense.
I think it'll be going forward. It'll be like they'll do something similar to this because Koo seemed to tease that. I mean, I don't know how far down the line he knows. I don't think anybody really can say for sure how far down the line he knows. But like he talked about, he said alphas, nobles, totems. What do you think they'll do next or something like that?
Yeah,
that's true. He did say that.
I mean, ever since like the success of Pokemon Go, they needed to find a way to maintain raid battles, and I feel like they keep reinventing it, right?
Yeah.
And this is just a continuation, but I mean, I kind
Yeah,
of
but
like
oddly
it.
enough,
I like
this
it.
isn't even the raid battles.
Yeah, you're right.
This is like more like
point.
nobles, and then the raids are this separate thing. You'd think this would be raid battles because I mean it's a giant Pokemon with a bigger health bar.
It's like an in-game raid battle, right? It's not so raid battle's the wrong term, but it's an in-game. This is the boss.
Yeah,
the
they're
final boss.
I wonder if you'll need, because like, think about in traditional video games like outside of Pokemon, normally you can just mash A, use your attacks, whatever, to get through the enemy. But on the boss battle, you have to be smarter. Like, there are kind of tricks you do. Like, you might need to, drop items on it or something. And so I'm wondering if this will apply that. Like, is it just a battle against a boss Pokemon, or will there have to be some kind of level of strategy to it outside of a traditional battle?
Interesting. Yeah, maybe it has like the same kind of buffs that the Totem Pokemon had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll definitely.
They didn't have an aura around it in the battle, which
did they show? Did they show like other Pokemon showing up? I love that it says Cloth and then it has a title, the Stony Cliff Titan. That is so cool.
Yeah. I like that a lot too.
We saw that
Kaka leaked like all the other titles too.
Oh, don't tell me.
I won't. Yeah,
I kind of want to know though.
I won't.
They're not accurate, so it doesn't matter.
Not? Okay.
Are they?
Well, then it's just a reveal of who they are. Like he said, the Vast Sky Titan, which would be the crane bird
I don't know if I would
thing.
tell him anyway, because listen, what I was gonna say was that they're not like totally accurate, like in the way that they're literally translated from his Japanese Google or whatever. So like they are close to whatever it's gonna be, but I wouldn't use each word.
Well then, Dusty, do you want to know the bosses? Because we know the bosses.
Yeah, tell me the boss. I don't care about the bosses.
One is the bird, which is like, people are saying cranes. I don't think it's a crane, but a large bird for sure.
Okay.
And then people are saying the earthworm, of course.
Okay.
Then there's the crab.
Tremors, dude. That's sick.
Then,
the earthworm's gonna be fun to battle.
Yeah, and you saw a brief glimpse of it in the second trailer. That thing that was like burrowing.
Dude, and then they're also. I'm sorry. Yeah, so these are all categorized. So we have cloth, earthworm, crane, and is the sushi fish another one?
Well, we don't know if like it's the sushi fish or if it's the catfish, which is supposed to be like the sushi chef. Okay. But it seems like one of them will summon the other or something. I don't know. Cool. This is all like Kaka, so it could be accurate. It could not be. And then I have heard people saying, because Ku, when referring to Paradox Donphan, he referred to them as a boss. I have heard some people say like Paradox Donphan is going to be essentially another boss.
Dude, I can see it. It's just gonna roll up and roll out. It's gonna attack you like
awesome.
that.
I love Donphan getting some love. That is all I need.
I would assume that the version exclusives are going to be the bosses for the Paradox form then. So you could have Donphan and Volcarona. I could see both of those being bosses.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do...
Yeah, Koraidon and Miraidon could be bosses as well.
They could be, but since they're with you from the beginning, I wonder if this would be really lame, but I wonder if they just kind of join your team. Or if you have to battle them.
I think whatever the final battle is or whatever, they'll join your team and like you'll fight against whoever it is.
Do you think it could be like one of them? So, I mean, typically what happens in a Pokemon game is they both exist in the game at once. So you team up, let's say in Scarlet, you team up with Koraidon, and then Miraidon appears through however the Paradox Pokemon appear, and then it's almost like the evil version, so you have to like fight Miraidon.
That would be cool. I'd love it. We don't know anything about the story, so like that's what we've been speculating the most on, which is kind of fun and kind of sucky at the same time. But
well, that would make sense because there really is no boss, right? There's no third legendary that we know about.
Right.
So maybe you have to fight it, which is like a classic thing. It's like fighting Dark Link or something. It's like you're fighting your mirror, you're fighting your shadow, and then but then after the fight you realize, oh, that's not the actual threat. We have to defeat Cloth.
I love it. You said he was the final boss earlier, and I was like, he's more like the first one probably.
Oh, Cloth, yeah. He's not the final boss. He's
final in the sense that you're gonna like play around in the area, and like I think you have to defeat other Cloths before he comes in.
My biggest question with that is, like, do we get to keep the big Cloth, or is it just gonna be turned to little?
Well, so I mean, jumping off of that, my other question is like, if I have Wailord, let's say, or Satitan, is it gonna if there's size variations, will that actually show, or size variations only gonna show in these Titan battles.
I think Kaka said that size variation shows. I think he said that.
Dude, that would be
Yeah, and I
cool.
think we have official confirmation. I was going to tweet it out too. I mean, it's really like hard to see, but in a lot of the screenshots, I think Joe Merrick even tweeted it out that there's like a few Pokemon that are taller than others.
All right.
Oh
that's
yeah,
good.
in the first trailer, I saw someone talking about that. Like there was a Quaxley. At one point, there was like a Quaxley that went like up to the player characters, like a little above their knee, and then there was one that like went all the way up to their waist.
Dude, so if Cloth, if we could use Cloth after we capture it, and it's that big, that's really cool. And so we already know that we have like marks. There are marks in Sword and Shield. So this Cloth, his mark would be the Stony Cliff Titan, right? It could be on your team. The same
Ooh, that's a good
display.
point.
It could display really big, just like the alpha Pokemon, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I love
imagining you
that.
can transfer those Pokemon over into this game, and then the alpha Pokemon could still show up as really massive. Dude, I want that to happen. I want we know what the reality is, but the fact that these two things are here means that they must be thinking about it a little bit.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, and I don't know this at all, but like what I was saying earlier with them being nobles, like did we catch the nobles?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, not the nobles. You catch
We
the
did.
One like and the
No, but
totems.
you catch the
couldn't
totem.
get them.
Right.
You couldn't catch the totems. They later gave you in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You could get totem-sized Pokemon by collecting those stickers. But then it's a thing of they very well could lock this to DLC. You know, like you couldn't get a totem in Sun and Moon. You couldn't Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. If you traded the totem back to Sun and Moon, I'm pretty sure it's
small
normal
again.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a limitation of the 3DS and Pokemon Bank. But I feel like they took so long patching Pokemon Home after Legends Arceus because they wanted to make sure all of the stuff was correct, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you can actually take stuff from
Zelda screwed it up.
BDSP and move it all around. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
I
they
really
have these
hope-
workarounds. They exist.
I really hope you're right, but then the biggest thing against it is look at that screenshot. Like
gorgeous.
there's just no way that Cloth is gonna be on your team.
That's
fighting.
what I'm thinking as well.
Like if we do get a bigger version of it, it'll just be like alpha sized maybe.
Yeah. But the thing
See,
is,
to
I
me-
guess what I'm thinking is that they could change like how big an alpha Pokemon actually is. They could change that, like as the, and I'm not saying it needs to happen. I'm just saying like there's a lot of indicators that say, okay, well that exists and that matches this, that exists, that matches this, and they've already figured it out on Pokemon Home. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign.
Think that this is going to be like this is controversial, but
Oh, no.
everybody wanted in Legends Arceus, everybody wanted an alpha of every Pokemon, and I am sorry, but I think some Pokemon are better not alpha size. Like I think that's
Definitely.
Yeah, Machamp. I never want to see alpha. I never want to see alpha Cerulege ever.
right.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
And so to me,
Alpha
like
Sneasel was scary, man.
I
Yeah.
would not want a Cloth.
Almost as tall as Executor Alolan.
That's an alpha.
Yeah,
I would
Oh,
want my Cloth tiny. 'Cause it's a crab. And
No,
love-
I think no. Crabs could be big.
not that big. Are
Dude,
we
no,
looking at the
I
same
would-
screenshot?
And I would want it to be that big. I think that's so cool because you could ride it. You could like jump on its back,
Earthworm, I would want to be that big. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
like Steelix.
Maybe it's just because I care more about crabs than I do earthworms. I don't know.
yeah.
Donphan, I would because it's an elephant and they're actually pretty small. Donphans are.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I really wonder how this. I think this game keeps looking better and better every time I look at it.
Yes.
Like every new trailer, it actually looks good, and it actually looks like they're continuing things that they implemented in Legends Arceus. I really thought they were going to drop the ball, and it was just going to be an upgrade to Sword and Shield, but it looks like a lot of these beloved features are coming back.
The only thing I dislike
can-
about the appearance of the game is, and this isn't with every character, the only characters I can think of that's this way off the top of my head are the player characters and the champion Gita, but they look like dolls. I don't know. It just, I don't like it. I don't like the way they look.
Yeah, it's like more of a question of style, though, not right? Like the
Yeah,
style
but
of
like to me, I don't know why it is, but like Arven looks okay. That girl that you have up now, that I don't want to say her name because I think I'll mispronounce it. They
Mela?
It's
Mela,
just Mela.
Mela, okay,
Mela.
Mela. See,
Yeah.
this is I'm mispronouncing it. It's 4 letters.
Dude,
But,
her
uh,
her boots are sick.
Scariest thing as a content creator is mispronouncing something.
That's called free engagement.
But
Yeah, right.
Mila. Her name's Mila.
Dude, I don't buy it.
but
If
like,
you
she
were
looks
saying it like a
okay,
Spanish,
Arven looks okay, but
Mila.
not,
Mila. Does she
Mila.
have tattoos? What are these gloves?
they're freaking cool.
She's got a little heart shape around her wrist.
Yeah. I
It
don't
looks
know.
like tattoos. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it's
like
not. It's her
painted.
clothes, but I don't know.
It's weird, but she's my new favorite. That's for sure.
Yeah,
She
she's
looks
really
awesome.
cool. I hope we get her haircut.
Yeah.
In her clothes, her outfit. That was a feature in Legends Arceus where you could like dress up as the villains and other characters.
It would
What-
be really.
I want to talk about 2 more things before we go. I'm really curious about the Let's Go feature because I haven't really looked into it too much. But the fact that they actually called it Let's Go is kind of wild, and I'm trying to find it right here, or maybe that was it down there.
It kind of makes me think that a Let's Go game is never going to happen again.
See,
Like,
it,
why
it
would
could really go
that's what
both
it means.
ways. Yeah.
Why would
So
they
the-
name it that? Oh, it's just so confusing. You know?
Yeah, it's like
Like
it's like one last send off. Well, it's just I'm trying to figure out where it is. It's just an auto fight feature, right? Like in
Yeah,
like in
it's-
other
yeah.
like in other RPGs, I don't know what you would classify them as. Are they MMOs or like games like RuneScape?
Think
Well, I don't even
a little
know.
bit like when you play a 2-player game as a 1-player, and they still have like the second player running around helping you, but it's just a CPU.
Yeah, like you basically, from what I can see, is that you have your team out, you run around in this massive open world, and other people are coming into your open world, right? Other players, and your Pokemon just follow you. And when there's a Pokemon just walking around, your Pokemon go to it, attack it, and you get the stuff automatically, which is a really cool feature that was actually manual in Legends Arceus, where you had to throw your Pokemon to attack the tree, to attack the Pokemon, whatever. And in this game, it looks like as you run through the game, you're going to get that experience, you're going to get those items, you're going to get those
Joe's post
knockouts
about, though?
automatically. No, I didn't.
Joe posted, he said, okay, so imagine you've got your Sprigatito out, it's running around in auto battle. Turn to it. Just killed a shiny Lechonk.
That's funny. That could happen.
Yeah.
I've gotten, so as they've made shinies way more common, they have also made them way more easy to run away from or just not notice. If you play Legends Arceus without the sound on, you've probably ran away from a shiny. So that is horrifying, but I'm also like not really. I play a lot of Pokemon, so I'm just gotta be attentive, right? That's makes a live stream that much better.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how to feel about this feature yet. Like, I mean, obviously we haven't seen it really in action, so that's the main thing. But right off the bat, I'm just like, why? I don't know. It just, what am I supposed to do while my Pokemon's doing that, basically? Because like in Pokemon games, what else are you doing other than doing the battle? You know, like how many more items can there be that you can go collect while your Pokemon's battling? Unless it's like really fast. That's the only way I can imagine it being like, okay, cool. You throw them out, they battle like 2 seconds. You grab something and they come back to you.
I think it's it's an option, right? So like you can still do your like traditional battle.
Right.
But I think, and that is nice. Like that's actually one of the coolest things about Legends Arceus. Like when you find something that you want to catch, like when you find a shiny, you can try to just like one shot it with a Pokeball, right?
Yeah.
But then also, I think it kind of tells me that there might be a lot of traversal in this game, right? Where you're actually it's gonna take time to move around the region, and so rather than stopping every 5 seconds to battle a level whatever, Weedle, right? It takes it out immediately. Kind of like how they made Let's Go a lot simpler to capture Pokemon. So I think these are like quality of life things, and I think it's gonna help. The best thing about Legends Arceus is that I never was taken out of the gameplay, and I feel like this is gonna help. This is I don't want to say it's a step forward because there might be like we can't capture Pokemon like in Legends Arceus. So it's like a side step, but it's a different step forward.
The two together were gold.
Yeah, maybe Gen
Yeah.
10,
11.
maybe never. Because I do think
Maybe.
they want to keep Legends Arceus as its own, or Pokemon Legends as its own gameplay style.
It does seem that way right now because of this,
Yeah.
but it's very hard to say. I think so. This is a huge conversation, but like at first, this whole time I thought that they were gonna make Gen 9 the mix. Like I thought they were gonna put the classic
No.
Pokemon thing and then mix Legend style with it. That's what I was hearing, like in the community, whatever. But it seems that they were made alongside each other, like without even really thinking about each other. Like some little features made it in and not. But so that leaves Legends Arceus as like maybe it was just a standalone one-shot game that they
It could
tried
be.
out, just like Let's Go.
Yeah.
But because it was so well received, now is
They
like
gotta.
what are they
Yeah.
gonna do? Are they gonna make another Legends and keep going with that? Like just that would make them more money. Let's just put it that way.
That would
But-
make me happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but would it though? Because then we would continue with the classic way over here, and it's not as like so for like Gen 10, they wouldn't be mixing the two anymore. It would just be like Gen 10 follows the classic on stuff.
Gen 10
instead
is
of-
like this game, and we still get Legends on the side. I am totally okay with that.
Me too. So what I
the
keep
more
going back
Pokemon,
to,
the better.
dude, I think I agree with you, Soul, that in a perfect world we would have, like, they should just make the best game possible, which would be Gen 10, which is this, but you can also play and interact with your Pokemon the same way as you do in Legends Arceus. But I'll tell you this, one of my best friends has been playing Pokemon as long as me, and he just does not like Legends Arceus. He's played through it. He didn't even play the post game. I said, keep playing past the credits because there's more. And he said, I don't like it. I'm done. I'm going to go back to this. Which is insane to me. But what he likes is
Are you
the
sure
classic
he's really
Pokemon.
your friend?
I promise. Yeah, he's my best buddy. But like, it's crazy to me. But that's what he is. And I think they want to. I think they want to make the core Pokemon games like accessible, right? They gotta be.
Yeah.
Like I think there was a meme going around, like the lore of Pokemon is so grand, right? But like the gameplay is very not repetitive, but like very formulaic. And I think they're gonna keep the core series as an RPG because it's accessible to all ages.
Right. I definitely I can sympathize with your friend a lot. Like Pokemon Legends for me, I am very mixed on that game. I'm not like a lover of that game like everyone else is. But because I love the classic style. So that's why I'm like just mix it together and make it perfect. But I do absolutely agree with what you're saying. It's just like it depends on what they do with the classic style because it still has to keep evolving as well. It can't just be like Pokemon Red and Blue until Gen 20, you know? And once they put the Pokemon Legends catching into a main series game, then like what's really the difference? I mean, I guess what you said is true with like it being an RPG versus a like action RPG.
Yeah.
On the crafting and all, like it's more survivally.
Yeah.
I think the main difference in the long run, if they continue with Legends Arceus and make Legend style games, would be the art style, the crafting, the action aspect, but then mainly like the story and the setting. I think those are plenty. That's like plenty enough to make that game different from this. I think if we get Gen 10 and it's everything that we see in Scarlet and Violet, but then there's also that option where you can just you can aim and throw Pokeballs if you wanted to. I think, I feel like they could still do that, and Legends would still have its own style.
Because I will tell you a little thing that nobody knows, that there is some of that in Gen 9 in this game. There's some of that, like those elements of throwing the Pokeball at Pokemon and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so like people
That's
people will
really
be surprised
sick.
about that. But it's not to the extent of Pokemon Legends. So I'm just thinking like this is what I think they will do or they should do. They should do another Legends game this generation, like Johto,
Yeah.
and then
Johto.
Gen 10, maybe not like a full mix, but like add in a lot more elements from it. And then maybe even they make another Legends game after that, but then after like a third Legends game, they just mix them together and make like, because it's still got to keep progressing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put them together and make like the perfect Pokemon game.
Well, I think if they do master, because I feel like a lot of the growing pains Pokemon has had is been just like adapting to like a modern gaming experience. That's where, and then it's like agonizing because it's been like 10 years, and you're like, this should have been an easy step that you made in 2012, right?
Yeah,
I feel like once they reach that point, which is like this could be it, or we're gonna get it in the DLC or in the sequel or in the Gen 10, whatever it might be. I think they can ride that out and they can maintain that because the Pokemon formula worked for 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just fine. And I still think the old formula still I mean, there's a huge Pokemon has a massive ROM hack community because it's like people still want to play those classic 2D RPGs.
Yeah.
I think they just need to like perfect it, and then a lot of the progression is new Pokemon and new stories and graphics, right? But like once if they get size variations and like I don't know if you can just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and catch it, and then the size variations are like there, and it doesn't take me out of the game. Then like what else do you want? I don't really care about the story of the game.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like a lot of that is already coming in with Gen 9. So like,
well, good. That's awesome.
It is already, it's cool. It is already
That's
mixing
cool.
a lot. I know one thing that I just thought about with it, and then we can move on to something else. But just the whole regional forms idea, like, so Legends had only regional forms and regional evolutions, I guess.
Yeah.
As new Pokemon and like as that feature for that game, and I love that for it. So like, you don't have to make brand new Pokemon, but instead you just are updating them, and then in the main next generation game, like then you get a whole batch of new Pokemon, which is really, I think that's a good idea for them to differentiate them.
Yeah.
Because it does look like they're going away from it a little bit in the main series, which Legends is main series, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I think that is interesting, and it take less of. Yeah, that is cool. Because it's also like it's a much better selling point, or it's a huge add-on for why you should buy a game, right?
Yeah.
Right, and it makes that new game feel like a new generation.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I do think that they're definitely going to plan on doing, and I think the plan from the beginning was to do more Legends games, and frankly, I think the plan from the beginning was to do more Let's Go games because one, Junichi Masuda, like he illustrated it like with Mario. He said, Mario has like the classic 2D style games, and then they have the things like Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, and they both coexist. And he was like, and that's kind of what we're wanting to do. But obviously, reception of Let's Go wasn't good, so I think they scrapped that. But you can tell with Let's Go.
No, that is a really good point.
Then they did BDSP. That's like another attempt at, I think.
Right. Yeah. And if you look at Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, and you look at Legends Arceus, you can tell that Pokemon Let's Go is its own logo, and they just wrote like Pikachu and Eevee under it. And then Pokemon Legends is its own thing, and they like wrote Arceus under it. It looks like they've created its own brand that will have multiple entries in it. No different than how we have Pokemon Red, Pokemon Black,
And Zelda has done the same thing. There's 2D Zelda, there's 3D Zelda, and then now there's even like spin-offs where I forget what it's called, but it's like a Hyrule Warriors. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like that's an action game all to itself. And yeah, Mario's been doing that forever. I
mean, I'm all about it.
Mario's got about 60 different side series. I mean,
because it allows like these games to really focus on like what their strengths are, and you can cater to all these different people.
Yeah. They need to hire more people so they can have more people on each of these projects and can be doing multiple of them. Because I mean,
like create
it
more
does kind
teams.
of suck that like Pokemon Snap I adored. I don't know how y'all felt about Pokemon Snap, but that's one of my favorite games. New Pokemon Snap specifically, and it kind of sucks to think we may not see another one of those for another 20 years. Yeah. And I wish that they had more teams, and I get that's not Game Freak. That's I think Bandai Namco made that.
Sure.
I don't know if either of y'all know if that's correct or not.
Yeah.
But just things like that. I'd love to just expand upon this world. And Pokemon Cafe Remix is not a spinoff good enough for me. Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite's not a spinoff good enough for me. I want ones that like build the world, I guess. Like Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon, even Mystery Dungeon, even though I don't really play those, that would count in that. Pikachu's Adventure and Poke Park, Pokemon Snap, all of those are great examples
Pokemon
of the
Pinball.
kind of spinoffs I want.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hope they do well with it, because it's just like some of the ideas that they've done, like all the ones you're mentioning, are just like, I don't know, they're not too amazing. Let's say they need to really fight. Legends is great. Legends is a good one.
Pokemon Snap was amazing, sir.
I haven't played it.
I didn't play
You
it.
haven't played it?
I'll take your word for it.
It
It's
is
just
so
too
good.
much money to spend for. That's what I mean, though. Like, it's the idea is not solid enough. Like, too much money to spend to sit on a
rail.
What is it called? Yeah, a rail. Yeah, one of those things that just takes you through a game and then
You're like on a safari, but with Pokemon.
I know, but
It does look fun.
For $30 or $40, and I'm okay.
It's true.
It's
True.
just like
I don't know why they feel like every Switch game has to be $60.
It's Pokemon. It's 60
Yeah.
bucks.
It's true.
They made their money.
Hey, for the record, if either of y'all, Soul, did you play Snap?
the first one on the N64.
Okay, so you didn't play the new one.
No.
Go to Walmart, because a lot of the times they have it, especially if you get like the code card for it. A lot of the times they have it for $40.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, one of these days. But
I'll get it
I don't know,
eventually.
it doesn't convince me.
It looks fun, but it's like it's gonna take time.
All right, the three of us right now,
We
we're
could be
committing.
making videos.
Y'all are getting that, and we're gonna make a let's play of Snap. Just three of us going through the game.
I'll do it.
I need to borrow some.
Yeah,
I need a friend. Oh man.
Yeah, you hear that? Go to Soul Silver's Twitter page and donate. Give him a super like, or what's it called on Twitter?
Super follow.
Yeah, the super follow.
follow.
I freaking submitted my application for that like 2 months ago, and I've been messaging Twitter. I'm like, hello, and it just says it's in review, like nonstop.
Too busy dealing with the Elon Musk stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can
Still.
tip. You can tip me if I get $40 in tips.
See this
I
link
will
right
buy
here? This link right here.
Hear
Yeah.
that? If he gets $40, I'm about to go in there, just drop $40.
That.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'll
this is
buy
what-
the game if I get it tips or whatever. You better watch out, Dusty. He's about to type $100 in there.
Yeah.
See,
Oops.
now just add 3 more zeros.
I gotta update that. Get that out of here. That's like a mess, man.
Yeah. You gotta update your stuff.
Yeah, that's old. Very old, all that. I
It
drew all
is.
that stuff. Yay.
It's good, yeah.
Hey, did you see my banner up there?
Yeah, I did. I was laughing.
There he is.
That is cool. I know. I want to make one where it's like, it's Scizor, these boys, maybe like another one, like all the swordsmen.
He-
Scyther will
he
be up
did.
there. Cleavor.
Blade, Sharp.
I have new art being commissioned, and 2 of the focal points of like my team is it's Scizor and Scyther on opposite sides. I'm sorry, Scizor and Cleavor, but I think I'm gonna have the person make 2 new JPEGs or files where it's the 2 new Pokemon, and they're
Love
on
it.
both sides of me.
I love it.
But
Sounds
anyways,
cool.
what else do you guys want to talk about? I guess we didn't
I
talk
have
about
2
the teams.
things. I have 2 things that, I mean, we can talk about the teams, whatever, but I have 2 things to say before we
Yeah.
get off.
All right.
So the first thing, I have to say this. Soul, you've mentioned this too on your Twitter. How the heck are we, 5, 6 Scarlet and Violet videos in, and I have not seen a single bird?
There's a lot of them. They're saving them.
I haven't seen a single one, and that is
I thought for
upsetting
sure
me.
we were gonna get one this one because I was
Yeah.
like,
I know.
the odds. It's the odds. We should get one.
Right.
Now you know. Like next, it has to be. If not, they're just doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can't, because what they don't reveal will be new mon in the game, hypothetically, if their whole game wasn't leaked. So they can't have all the new mons that you see when the game comes out be birds.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
reveal
true.
everything but them,
Yeah, that's very true.
Or reveal the ostrich, because that's the one I'm not interested in.
Probably. I mean, it's pretty exotic, I guess.
Yeah. So the second thing is on the characters. So, they revealed Gita. I have a really potentially good theory. I don't know what's going on with my brain today. But on Gita, the chairwoman. So Ku, Soul, I'm positive you've seen this. Ku posted that a character in these games is fake, like I guess like an android or something. And the options he gave were Arvin, Ida, and the professors. What I'm proposing is Ida looks a little robotic to me. Yeah. In her official art and everything.
And she's tall.
Have her be the android, and then I don't know if y'all saw my video I posted yesterday was on Gen 10 and beyond. And I speculated that based off some evidence and Sword and Shield and stuff, that Gen 10 could be India. So you have the real Gita be the champion of India because she's Indian. Her name is Indian. So you have the this.
So she's controlling. This is her proxy, her avatar.
This is I'm more thinking like it's a little bit more sinister than that. Like someone did that of her. Like she will be in the next game.
Wait, so this is from Ku?
This is from Ku that a character's fake. Obviously, I'm adding.
Could fake mean something else?
That's what I was just thinking too when you said it. It just clicked with me.
Because I'm thinking regional. I'm thinking regional fake, right? That's the word he coined, and he was like promoting it.
He had when he was showing like movies that were kind of related to the plot of Scarlet and Violet, like that one with I guess Keanu Reeves in it, and it's like people communicating through time. And then there was one that dealt with androids. I forget the name, but it dealt with androids.
Oh yeah, he tagged it in that too.
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human in the game. He tagged it in that that tweet with one of them's fake.
The official art, she does look really fake. Like her eyes look
at her eyes.
Her eyes are like squares. And her legs look so tall. Where I'm like, I feel like they always depict droids, at least in Star Wars, as like these like really tall, powerful creatures. Right. I'm thinking of like the Iron Giant or even the avatars from Avatar. They're massive, right?
It would make sense too with like apparently Nimona looks like she looks like she will look up to her a lot and be like, I want to be like her.
And then
like
finds out she's not real.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a story of just like being yourself.
But then, like, it specifically being a big hint to how there is a real Gita. She may not be a champion, but there's a real Gita in the Gen 10 region.
That's something. I mean, I have no idea, so I can't debunk that or anything.
She's Indian, and
yeah.
The speculation is that India could be Gen 10.
The
name Gita is Indian and everything.
Yeah, but I want 30th anniversary Japanese region.
Yeah, I still pulling for that.
It sounds too good.
I get that. I do. I
just can't see it being India. I can't see Gen 10 being India. But
I wouldn't have guessed Spain. I would have never guessed Spain. I'd have thought Italy before Spain.
It does.
I would have thought anywhere other than Europe than before Spain.
Yeah. I mean, we got New York City as a region. Why can't we get India,
Just because of Gen 10 and the 30th anniversary. That's the main reason I'm saying it. But
it's true.
But
it does have a huge following in India too, and I think that plays a role.
Yeah, I did hear that as well. It makes a lot of sense though, because with Spain, everyone, when Gen 7 was happening or was ending, let's say, and they were like, okay, Gen 8's coming, everyone thought that Gen 8 was going to be Spain.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing. There was hints to Spain all over Gen 7. And turns out that was for Gen 9 instead of Gen 8.
That's what I talked about in my video. They're hinting 2 regions ahead. So then I went further and said, spoiler alert if people are, gonna watch that video, which you totally should, plug. But they then in this game there's a bunch of Egyptian stuff. You think about the giraffe rig evolution, the ostrich, the scarab, and so Gen 11 will be Egypt.
Yeah, dude. That'd be wild if that comes true. You
have to do one word, Dusty.
One word?
What's
the Lumios Foundation?
Lumios post one word. There you go.
Oh, you're looking at him, yeah. Yeah, that sounds really crazy. Like, if you made this theory all the way like years before Gen 11, basically, that will be a wild thing to come back to. I'm just telling you right now. That's nuts.
If I am right, he's
The king of theories. I
got another subscriber.
Nice.
So I guess what you're saying, Soul, is that they kind of did a fake out, and then the region that they were doing research on wasn't really like, it didn't come to fruition until the next generation. So right. I guess it could be. I guess it could be Redwood in California, because that is where they were. I think they hinted Gen 9 would be in California. It was they were there. An interviewer asked him about it, and then Masuda was like, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen then. Like, he just said it as a joke. But that is where they were. So, like, maybe that's Gen 10.
So that's funny that you say that, because I don't know if you know, Zach, but I found somebody tweeted me this a long time ago, like months ago, that we figured out that the Redwoods hint was a hint to Spain. There's a redwood forest in Spain.
No way.
Yeah, where I Graphite Eye is at, basically.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The painted forest is. Oh, snap!
It's near there. I don't know if it's the same one, but it's like, basically that's what he was talking about. It wasn't the California redwoods. So it threw everyone off. But like, I don't know. I'll have to tag you in the tweet, but it's definitely. Yeah. That's what he was talking about.
So he wasn't in California? They were in a different redwood?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. They didn't go there.
I remember people found there was a city in Australia called Redwood, Australia, and people were really hoping it was there.
Really? That's crazy. Because that's been a theory for 3 years.
Australia's been a pipe dream is what it's been. Yeah. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I hope it happens someday. I don't think that's next 2 gens.
Yeah, maybe...
I could see it being Gen 10 just because of the scale of it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
California is massive.
Yeah. I don't think that California hint was anything else other than that.
Well, that's good. That feels like a clean slate. I can like let that die.
Yeah. I'll have to tag you in it. But basically he was...
I can sleep tonight.
He's like,
yeah, I can finally sleep.
Died and you're just moving on, man. He wasn't in California or going to California. It was like he was mentioning where he was going next, and he said something with redwoods. So it was something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. One thing that just to go back a little bit, when you were talking about your theory, Zach, like it hit me. Maybe the whole time I was thinking it's not Arvin. It couldn't be Arvin, but maybe it's Arvin. That's the fake one.
Yeah. I mean,
so think about this. If it's like the lake house and these 2 professors are like maybe lovers and they're in a different time.
Lake house, is that movie about them communicating through time?
Or like an idea of that. Maybe they're not in different times, but they just, I don't know, can't coexist or something. And they like create a little robot version of their child, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool. He's a clone. He's like what's her name? The blue girl from Evangelion.
That's why he's so afraid. He doesn't want to like break.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. He's friendly. He's not like a bad person. Mm-hmm. But he's like, yeah, I think that's a really cool theory. Where he's
also a good chef.
That's so cool. I don't know if
that has anything to do with it. But
you're like, and he also has dirty blonde hair.
All robots have dirty.
And he's wearing orange pants.
The gold backpack. C-3PO.
It all comes together.
C-3PO. That's who it is.
I know. I do like that theory because it's like they can't. I mean, if they can't conceive, right? They make a little robot. Yeah. That's cool. That's like he's like Pinocchio.
Yeah, exactly. That's just a thought I had while you were saying that.
No, I think that could make sense.
His nose is gonna grow.
And see, you see how like active, like captivating this is to listen to us theorize about things we don't know about. This is how it could be if it wasn't for Kaka.
And the best part is you can come back to this later and watch and be like, "Ha, they were totally wrong."
All right. Whatever. Well, I want to nominate this guy as a PokeManiac.
He does look pretty insane. Grunt.
That grin is crazy.
Do you like them? They're boring to me.
They are boring. Yeah.
They're boring, but it's what I
cut off
expected.
tie. Like the ties like cut they did on purpose.
Mm.
It's what you expected, really?
I expected it to be lame. I don't know if you saw Team Yell, but I expected this team to be lame.
Actually, as long as it's better than Team Yell, we're golden. Like I don't even care. It's better.
Yeah, Team Yell was annoying. Like Team Skull was cool, and these feel like Team Skull, where they're just
fairness. I think
they're
Team
just
Yell's
delinquents.
point
They're rebels.
was to be annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
was-
thought in my mind was probably what I thought was wrong, as in I thought it would be more like Team Skull, like they were real delinquents, like punks and stuff. But then it would just literally be the last two that we had, so they had to do something different. They're just students.
So are they
I'm
like
ready to go back to like the actual Dusty. You and I talked about this a while back, but like I'm ready to go back to the actual villain teams that are, world conquering, region destroying, legendary controlling, that kind of villain team. Not this stupid thing where we have these like punks that you're dealing with, but the real villain was Lucamine or Rose or probably Clavel all along.
Well, maybe when we go back to Japan in 4 years, right?
I mean India, yeah.
Yeah, California. That's what I said.
California.
So how does she tie in? I got Mila, boss of the Sheeter squad. I don't think it's that.
How do you pronounce that?
Skater?
Skater?
I said Sheeter. There's the Skater squad, aka Team Stars Fire Crew.
So we figured out what this is, actually, thanks to Ku, with his help, I guess. Which you could have figured it out on your own without him, but that is a name of a star.
Okay.
And all of the remaining ones, which there's 5 of them, will be names of stars, and they all form a constellation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the Cassiopeia constellation or something like that.
Yep. And it's really cool. So what's even better, though, and I was going to say this earlier, so I'm glad we came back to it, is no one realizes it, but we kind of got like 18 gyms, but even more than 18 gyms, because we got the boss battles, and we got literal boss battles for these the evil team.
Oh yeah.
I'm only worried about being over leveled. Like if you try to do all of them,
something else is happening. Something else is happening. It doesn't make sense. Like there's no way that unless your team like never levels up, there's something going on here that we don't know about, because how in the world are you supposed to run with your whole team and not get to 100? Normally you would do that just with the main quest that we have to get to the gyms. So how do you do that and then do the other quests without getting to 100?
Didn't they slow or change how experience works in Legends Arceus? Maybe they kind of keep that, or at least do that here.
I literally have no clue, and there's something different. That's all I know, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Yeah,
we know the gyms don't scale, right? But we don't know if anything else scales or not. So
right.
maybe the gyms are like a regular constant, and then everything else is kind of like up for interpretation. Because if you try to
use the Torkoal's level in that picture,
let me see.
You're like
27.
Face is blocking it.
Oh, sorry, I got a big face, I guess.
I mean, like your little screen,
Oh, that was a smooth
27.
way. Was that a smooth way for you to look at my screen, or for me to look at my camera? I would just shut off.
Oh, no, it wasn't, but yeah, it did. Thought that was just
it's
in
getting
Discord.
warm in here. So, yeah, Torkoal's level 27.
Interesting.
The Fuecoco's level 15. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is so confusing.
Which is that's a big difference. That early in the game,
yeah.
that's a big difference.
And there's a decent chance that Torkoal isn't our ace. I mean, usually they're ace. Usually.
Yeah. So
their ace is a new Pokemon.
I'm thinking about this like what we were talking about earlier, how like these games need to be accessible to all players. And if you have some sort of constant challenge, which would be the gym battle, right? That's like that challenge progresses with you, and gradually. Where you have all these other things that are a lot more challenging, and you can even skip them. That's my understanding. You can skip all these other challenges. But if these were the ones that scale with you, if these were the ones that were like, or maybe, I guess, I want to say they scale, but they don't scale here. But I could see these being like a lot more challenging. Or maybe it's the other way around, where this challenge scales with you and the gyms don't.
I mean, when you think about it, in a regular playthrough, like you talked about, like, you get high level just going through the gyms and all, but in a regular playthrough, you're also encountering the villain team as you go. So this would kind of be a substitute for that.
Yeah.
This is no different than the admin battle at the Callus power plant, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's different than that. I feel like these are like actual boss fights as well.
They are, but I mean in terms of how it levels you up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I think you're right, Soul, because it's like they even frame this battle, right? They frame all of these Team Star battles on the car, so the camera angle is the same as battling the Titans.
Exactly.
Did you see the it mentions that the car itself will like attack you?
That's interesting. Well, it's the Pokemon. It's
I think that's neat, like that they teased it though. It's right there at like the top of your screen. The Starmobile itself will get in your way.
That could be it.
This does look fun.
That's what makes it harder.
What?
Like, no matter what your level is, if that thing's attacking you the whole time, if you're like facing something that's very high leveled as well, like two Pokemon that are both facing you at the same time, it could be that makes it harder.
And you're on a time limit to kind of get to the end too.
Yeah. You saw like there's like a versus thing that pops up. So it's like actually you enter into like a boss battle kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She's really cool.
She reminds me of Team Flare.
So I'm trying to like analyze her design. Is she like an exploding star?
That's cool. I never thought of that. I think it has to
like
do with
stars.
apples.
Apples?
Surprisingly. Yeah, her name means apple. That's what Mela means.
So she's going to
have
kind of
looks like a poison apple in a way. I don't know. Like with the whole I don't know, the design of like the wispiness. It kind of reminds me of like the poison apple.
I hope a lot of
Go for it.
I hope a lot of these characters have the starter Pokemon. I always liked that in these games where like you meet that one-off character with like a Wartortle and you're like, whoa, like like that's a cool Pokemon, right? Like how did you get that? Did you start?
Don't do that anymore, and they need to.
And if this is an open world game, I think we could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and her head kind of has like her hair has the stem and like the apple kind of coloring.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like a apple stem up there.
Maybe she'll use Fuecoco's evolution.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe Fuecoco looks like this.
Okay, so I had one last thing to talk about since we're getting close to the end here. I don't know. I thought, Dusty, you said you had something too. But related to this and just the trailer in general, like we talked about how it was the best like hype trailer and all that. Like the graphics of the Pokemon and the animations looked the best I've ever seen in any like 3D mainline Pokemon game. Like that specific scene that we were just looking at where Fuecoco's there, his animation, he looks great. And I was thinking about Quaxley when he's fighting the gym leader, which we didn't talk about him. He's kind of weird looking. But Quaxley's tail, you can see like the details of its tail has like splits in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can already see like where it's going with its like peacock kind of thing, its tail.
Oh, wow.
If you look at the back
noticed that. I'm about to pull that up.
Yeah, look at the back of it. You'll be like, oh, this is not a normal duck tail kind of thing. It's like 3 slits in the back. But so little details like that, like people were complaining about Sudowoodo. I think it looks amazing. Like
I think it looks really good.
People were complaining about Sudowoodo. I only saw positivity.
There were people complaining. They were like, it looks weird.
Yeah. But like the graphics look good. For I'm never one to be like, okay, Pokemon graphics. And I guess the background isn't as amazing, but like for where we're at with Pokemon, I'm like, all right, let's go.
For getting a game every single year. Dude, because that's the thing. It's like Zelda can take 7 years off.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Pokemon can't do that.
No.
I think that I don't know, this is kind of confusing to me, but you know, people were complaining, especially in the Grafai trailer, how in Legends Arceus, when a Pokemon would use Tackle, it would actually like run up to the opposing Pokemon, and it wasn't doing that in like the Grafia trailer and stuff. Yet you do see in the previous trailer, Cyclizar runs up and like actually attacks the Breloom.
Yeah.
And like makes contact, and I'm pretty sure that Ceruledge does the same thing to a Sneasel.
Ooh,
So
yeah. So there's that, and then
it's like
it doesn't make full contact, but it does.
It's in the trailer. In the trailer, I think it does. In the trailer, it's shot from another angle. It's like shot from like the Sneasel's perspective.
It's really dumb for people to like do that, to like just attack it right away and assume something, because it's always game footage, not final anyway. Like, we don't know for sure that that's how it's going to be in the final game.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly to be like, oh yeah, the animations are gone. Like, I don't really care in general, but
yeah, same.
It is what it is.
There's your boy.
It's later in the trailer.
Dude,
Wait,
that moment right there,
yes.
I was like, it's the Paradox Gallade. I was like, it's the Paradox Gallade. It's the Paradox Gallade right there.
I didn't think there was a shot they were revealing Paradox in this one, but I
so
did the
cool. How do you
exact
make
same
it slow
thing.
motion?
Yeah, you got a nice little GIF there.
Wait, where was it, Lumi?
It's a little bit later in the trailer because it's like at the end when they show them.
Yeah.
Yeah, click there and we'll watch from there because it won't be much further after
That's a good look at. Oh, and
but there's the split.
And I love that Sudowoodo has a like it becomes the grass type, and then the gym leader nicknames the Pokemon.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Are we gonna see that in the battle? Because that's awesome. Because I thought it was great when they went. Oh, right there, right?
He hits.
There's Cyclizar doing it. Yeah, he like actually runs up to Breloom.
That's cool.
The thing about this scene specifically, though, this is the Let's Go thing. This is not like an actual battle.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still cool.
I just noticed here that he splits his toes here, and he doesn't have anything in between.
Ew.
Like normally they're closed.
He looks like a dog.
I love his tail curls up like an actual lizard.
Yes. A little bit further from here is the
Dude, Salamence looks so sick.
Salamence
That's what I'm saying. Look how clean they look. They look so clean.
Oh man.
It grounded Salamence. That's why it looks good.
Dude.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna have Salamence
was grounded too. Earlier in the trailer, you could see like a really tiny snippet of Tropius, and you could tell it was grounded.
I think I'm gonna have Salamence on my team.
Here it is.
There it is.
It's about to show it.
Let's go.
He uses his move.
I want both of them and Salamence.
Oh wait, no, I was wrong. I thought it made contact.
I think it does later because it does fight that Weavile or the Sneasel.
Well, it's the Sneasel. It didn't do it though.
Oh, all right.
So apparently it's only in the auto battles.
It kind of hits it though. Didn't it send?
It like moved forward. It did not move to the Sneasel though.
No, yeah, it didn't move towards it at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Like just kind of took a knee or whatever.
It took a knee, yeah. Dude,
even Sneasel's got textures on the back of its head.
Dude, I love Sneasel so much. This is sick. Dude, and the beauty of this is that it's all going to be compatible with Pokemon Home, not on launch day. Relax. I know, guys. I know. But it will be compatible, which is so sick. That means we're going to have 4 games.
Hope they surprise us and do launch day. I really hope they do. Oh,
it won't be launch day, but there's a chance. So for X and Y, it was like January 1st or something, or like the night of Christmas.
It was even further than that because they had issues with the new bank. Like they launched it for Japan first, and they had all these issues. Like the server was overloaded, so it was supposed to be January 1st, but they had to delay it like 3 months.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I was home. Yeah, bank. Because I was home on holiday for Christmas, and I was back from school. I remember being on my parents' couch like at night a couple days before Christmas, or maybe it was after Christmas. But I remember using it for the first time and getting Cyndaquil in my game, and first time, dude, because it was the first time you could get Pokemon in 3D. Like, oh man, I don't know when it was.
Here we go. It says that
maybe I'm crazy.
It was launched in Japan, South Korea, and other Asian territories on Christmas. But because of the high volumes of traffic, it was temporarily inaccessible. And Then Bank was removed from the eShop,
Whoa.
and then it was supposed to come out to the rest of the world December 27th, but it was delayed and it didn't come out until January 21st for Japan and Asia. But then it did not hit Europe, Australia, and New Zealand February 4th, and then America February 5th.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe I came home for another holiday.
It's possible.
That's crazy.
I mean, I remember I was waiting and I was like about to cry. It was taking so long.
That's crazy, dude. Well, that stinks. I was hoping that was going to be a good track record. This does look fun. Honestly, all of your Pokemon following you, that does look fun.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be Salamence and Scarlet and Scizor. It's going to be a cool team.
That's a different thing. That's a gym challenge. You have to go around the city and find some flora.
You're right.
But still, like, having your team out, it still applies. Yes. Like, you saw the team before. Yeah. Like, there's going to be a similar mechanic to Pokemon Legends Arceus where you can, like, bring them out, I think. Like that.
Looks so much fun, dude.
Hey, did y'all see that the picnic feature was hinted at on the new Switch model?
No,
but I saw the new Switch model, which I think I'm gonna get it.
Can you pull it up, Dusty?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot I'm in charge here.
Good.
I'm just watching TV.
I mean, watching the trailer was actually great too.
It was awesome.
I'll pull that up next.
My hype was regained instantly.
Yeah. You can see on it there's like a picnic box and like I think a sandwich coming out of it. On the Switch.
Does he have pictures for it here? Yeah.
Got the video, so you may have to like click it and just pause through it.
I see Hatterene. Oh, there's Go-Goat too.
I thought this was Splatoon when I first saw it. I was like, what's happening?
I did too. I hate it, to be honest. I hate it. I like the controllers. I like the dock. The Switch itself looks awful.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
But it's just the colors are not my colors, you know? I don't love the colors.
I saw it on
I don't know what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's obviously going to be Scarlet and Violet.
Where's your picnic thing here? I'm looking.
Saw it on Twitter.
Oh, right here. It's right here?
Oh, yeah.
And you're making a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely. I'm going to have to tweet about it.
Yep. Oh, look. So here's a sleepy Sprigatito, a sleepy Fuecoco, sleepy Quaxley. These are cute.
I don't understand why they put Hatenna and Go-Goat in there when they could put like more Scarlet and Violet mons. But
I like that they did though, just so that there's some variation, at least something else.
I actually I mean, that's my mascot, and that's like my girlfriend's like favorite Pokemon, so that's actually kind of perfect.
It was made for you.
Literally.
Go to the next scene of it, like the front, really quick. Gold and silver, bro. Gold.
Yeah. Let's go, dude. I know I'm gonna buy that Switch too. They probably won't make one, but it looks fun.
Dude, Dusty blew my mind with the Paradox Virizion Suicune thing. Remember what you said, Dusty, about how it's like a hint to Unova and
Johto. You have the Suicune and DLC, which in my mind suggests that Entei and Raikou will also get a Paradox. And that's obviously Johto, and then Virizion's Unova. So then the other two might get Paradox as well.
Right.
But
yeah, it makes sense.
But I don't know if
Unova hint.
Yeah, but I don't actually know if Unova's gonna get any love in Gen 9. But I mean, I don't know. It feels right. But it could also be the fact that like just Johto and Unova are the oldest games and just have the least attention, right?
So when you who told me
updates.
Like your bold prediction was that they would do both Johto and Unova remakes?
Yep.
This gen?
I think it's happening.
This gen,
I think it's happening.
So I try to think of it but think of it like with all of the other, like there's going to be waves. Every year is going to be its own thing, right? And I feel like, I guess they did totally deviate from Galar this last year. This year was all about Sinnoh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's
really
going to be...
They treat it like it was a new gen.
Yeah. So it's going to be like Paldea, and with DLC also, that's going to be all next year.
2 years of Paldea.
Okay, so 2 years of Paldea, and then you have Johto. And then what? They're not going to bring it back to Paldea? They're just going to go straight into Unova?
My theory right now is that
'Cause you,
it's okay. So it's bad. It's not a great theory,
I
but
already have. Yeah, I want to say more.
it's not a great theory because because I'm thinking BDSP terms of remake for Unova.
Yeah,
Um,
that would suck.
Ooh.
yeah, and I'm thinking before Johto. I think Unova and then Johto Legends after Unova, and
No,
then Gen 10.
I
That's my idea.
only reason why I don't think that makes sense is because we just had Sinnoh, so it'd be like another remake 3 years after
I mean, it could
Sinnoh,
very
right?
well. Yeah, it could very well be wrong. The
I
only
would
idea.
like them to do Johto, then go back to Paldea. So like 2 DLC next year, part 1, part 2, Isle of Armor, Crown Tundra,
Ooh, Joe,
Johto,
yeah,
and then
that's
go
sick.
back to Paldea for a third final DLC. Maybe add in any new mons that were brought in Johto Legends or whatever.
I mean,
That's
that would be amazing if
that
that's what they
makes.
did. I don't know.
I feel like that makes more sense because then you bring everything back and it's all of a sudden you have like another whole year of like
We
selling the Paldea game.
we came full circle though. This is like our fan logic that makes so much sense. Like we should be running the show. We should, but then Game Freak makes their logic, which has nothing to do with what we're
Yeah.
thinking. In
So
the
the
end,
other
Logic.
the other main thing is that I feel like Unova needs time to breathe because it has two mainline games attached to it, right? And
Yeah,
they're not like better versions. They're like completely new stories.
And it's
So they're
also a thing of how would they handle a remake? Do they just remake Black and White with no Black 2, White 2 elements? Do they remake them both? You know what I mean? Like,
I was writing a script and I came to the conclusion that yeah, they would just remake Black and White. Like that one would like the original would get the treatment. And then I kind of feel like they would just do like maybe DLC where they add in all the locations of Black 2 White 2 because with like
they'll leave out the World Tournament because it's the best thing in
Yeah.
the game.
I know. We don't talk about that.
it's very hard to speculate for me. I don't know. I really don't. All I know is that something Johto is happening. Like that.
Yeah, Johto's next.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope. Well, the other thing that I know is that they're trying to do one game a year. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah,
what
but DLC counts.
Yeah, DLC does count. What we could get is up in the air because what if they just decide to do something wild like Legends we never saw coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be a completely different thing.
So I kind of I keep wanting to write a video about this and like make a timeline, but there's so many different ways it could go. So what I think could happen is we get the BD, we do exactly what we did for Sinnoh, where we get a faithful remake of Heart Gold Soul Silver, and we get a Legends game of Johto.
Right. That's what Ruffles
And they could
was saying too. I think
he?
does make sense. Yeah.
So what? And then I think they could like now that they have the foresight or they have the understanding that like Legends will sell well, then they could give that DLC itself.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
That would be amazing if they did that. I would be down as long as they make the DLC like thick, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything else in the moment.
Yeah.
But it was like chunky or something. I need a really big DLC. I don't need friggin' whatever we got for PLA. Like what in the world?
Yeah.
But
Sinjo should have been we should have been able to visit Sinjo.
See, I think that will be available at some point, dude.
Have to. That is like one of the biggest and like most desired mysteries in Pokemon.
Dude, a Legends Johto game would be sick because like then they could actually make reference to Hisui, right?
yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And the Legends Johto game would have Kanto in it. Like,
Well, and like just how sometimes we have games where, like in Sun and Moon, you meet Grimsley, you run into Grimsley, you run into Red and Blue. Doing more Legends games allows you, like, imagine that you go to Sinjo and Volo's there, like kind of just replotting because like they even teased like Professor Laventon said something about how he imagines this isn't the last we've seen of Volo. Well, obviously it actually is in the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I get it. I get upset thinking about this too much because it's too far away and there's no
It being far away definitely does suck. But I mean, we're getting a whole new generation now, so it's like enjoy that while we get it, and then I think that another Legends game is like almost 100% happening, and the chances of it being Johto is like really high. So it's only good things to look forward to.
It's true.
Unless it's a Unova BDSP style, which is possible. I mean,
that would be so ugly.
BDSP
it's really
did
bad.
Well.
I know. Well, the
did well, but like I think criticism matters too. Like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee did really well by remake standards, but we were pretty vocal about how we felt about it, and we haven't seen one since. So I'm hopeful that maybe they heard us all complaining about how Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was filled with bugs, and there was the whole home mess, which I would think leaves them like in a bad place with Ilka. Like, you had one job, you made home, and then you were in charge of making this game. You didn't make sure it was compatible with the first game you made. I mean, that was such a bird brain move.
Yep. There's a lot to be said about all that. They do take criticism for sure. So let's hope.
Just
all right,
don't listen when we say we want the battle frontier back.
You guys want to end it there?
Sounds good. Me.
All right, good talking with you guys. If you guys want to see more PokeManiac's episodes, subscribe, hit the like button. Go check out all of our channels. Go check out SoulSilver on Twitter. We'll see you guys in the next video. And peace out.
Bye.